Hi students. In today's class, we are going to discuss about what is Django, and then we'll discuss about what are client-side technologies, server-side technologies, and what are the features of Django. All these we are going to discuss in today's class. So to learn Django, students should know basics of Python. So at least core Python. If a student have already completed Python, then can learn Django. Like at least core Python. Then students can learn Django because in Django, Python coding will be there. And in Django, we are going to use UI technologies, like web technologies we are going to use. Like we are going to use HTML, JavaScript, CSS, jQuery, Bootstrap. All these we are going to use. Okay. And those who know little bit of HTML, then they can follow the classes. Only HTML is required. Only basics, not in depth. Okay, so like if students don't know more about HTML or JavaScript or CSS Bootstrap, I will give explanation. So I will tell why we are using HTML in Django, what tags we are using, why we are using those tags, and then we'll see how to use JavaScript and how to use CSS, then how it will works in Django, then how to use Bootstrap. Like all these we are going to discuss. So if students, if you do not know more about so if students don't know more about this UI technologies, no need to worry because we'll see many examples related to using HTML in Django, JavaScript, CSS, jQuery, Bootstrap. We'll use all this while doing designing in web pages. We are going to use it. Okay. So if you know little bit of HTML, then you can continue the classes. Like here we'll discuss more about UI also. Like I'll give examples, I'll give you the theory. All these we'll see. And for UI technologies, I'm having notes and videos also. Like if you feel like I'm not good in HTML or CSS or Bootstrap, I will send my notes to your mail IDs. And if you want videos also, you can I can send UI classes videos also. I can send. Okay. So here what I'm saying here is to learn Django, Python student should know at least core Python, and a student should know basics of HTML. Other technologies I will teach. HTML also I'll teach, but if you know basics of HTML, then you will know like what I'm trying to do in the applications. And here this Django classes will be like for 45 days or 50 days I'll take. And here we are going to discuss many concepts we are going to discuss. So this is with Django with the project. So project also will discuss. Project will be for like 1 week or 10 days it will be. So within 2 months, I'll try to complete Django course, and also project also I'll complete. So project means whatever chapters we have discussed, from those chapters we are going to develop one website, like business application will develop, like which is used can be used in any business or organization, or else we can develop online shopping site. Like it depends on the like requirements, we can develop any website, but project is there, Django with project. And here in Django classes, we are going to discuss about Django features, and then we are going to discuss about MET architecture, design patterns we'll discuss. MET architecture we are going to discuss, like model, view, template. And then we are going to discuss about creating virtual environment. And then we'll see how to work with Django project, Django applications. Then working with project level URLs, application level URLs. And then we'll use HTML in Django projects, CSS, jQuery, Bootstrap. All these examples we are going to discuss. And then we'll see how to create multiple applications in Django projects. Applications means websites. Okay. And then we are going to discuss about working with models, then working with form, creating the web page with controls, then working with model forms. Model form means connecting web pages with the database. And then we are going to discuss we'll be discussing about advanced template features, advanced model features, and then we are going to discuss about advanced security features, and then we'll discuss about state management. Then we'll discuss about function based views, then class based views, and then we'll discuss about middleware services, object relational mapping, web hosting. So web hosting also we are going to discuss. So whatever website we create, we are going to host it in internet server, in production server. Then that website can be accessed from anywhere, from any location we can access. So we'll do that. Web hosting is there. For that we'll use GitHub we'll use, and then we are going to use pythonanywhere.com. pythonanywhere.com for hosting the sites. We are using the website. Okay. And here from the beginning, what all examples we'll discuss, all we are going to discuss in virtual environment, not in physical locations. Okay. Like not in like directly in C drive, D drive, will not do it. So with while working with Django, when we create when we create virtual environment, and when we install Django related packages, Python related packages, and when we create a project and applications, then that project or application runs in that virtual environment. So virtual environment is separated or it is isolated from system directories. Isolated means it is separated. Okay. So while working with the Django, in our laptop we can create multiple virtual environments. We can create multiple virtual environments in C drive, in D drive we can create. So every virtual environment is isolated from system directories. Okay. So in that case, we don't have a problem with versions, Django versions, Python packages, database versions, database connectors versions. Problem will not be there, because whichever softwares required by the project, all are in that virtual environment. So in real time also, when we take our project to virtual in production server or else an internet server, there we have to create virtual environment. In virtual environment, we'll install Django, Python related packages, database software, database related packages, all will install in that package, including our project. Then our project will not have conflict with other projects running in the server. They may be with different versions. Our project may be in different versions, but all will execute successfully. So from the first example, I'm going to explain in virtual environment only. Creating virtual environment, all these we are going to discuss in detail. We are going to discuss. So in my classes here, like my complete notes is there here. My notes. So here you can see, as I said, no project is there. So here you can see the project. So this project we are going to discuss. Like here you can see the files, application, all these are there. So this we are going to discuss in the last, and other projects are also there based on machine learning, online shopping, real estate. These websites are there. Okay, and here you can see web hosting we are going to discuss from the beginning to the end. Here all these documents are there. Notes with examples. Notes with examples is there here. Here you can see this, and here my notes easily you can understand. So those who are not having any knowledge related to websites or website development, you can understand clearly, like what is the use of the concept, why we are implementing in the project. And here if you see the notes, my notes, then here you can see it is like this. So it will be very clear for doing practice. So for practicing here, I'm telling in which file we should write the code. And I will explain what is the meaning of the statements. Like here you can see urls.py, all this is there. So every document from the beginning to the end, it will be like this. So it will be easy for you to understand the concepts. Here you can see. So in Python classes, you may be writing less code. But in Django, you will write more Python code will be there. Many programs you are going to write in. You are going to write in this Django. You are going to write more with this Python code. You are going to write. So every day I will send you the notes, device notes, and examples. I'll send, and also I will send you the recorded video also. Every day session is recorded, and I'm going to hello students. Here network issue is there. Can you hear me now? Okay. So here Python latest version is. So here I'm typing python.org. This will show the latest version. So latest version is 3.9.5 is the latest version. So 3.9.5 is the latest version. And here Django means here we have to type this djangoproject.com. Djangoproject.com. So here you can see the latest version here. That is 3.2.3 is the latest version. 3.2.3 is the latest version. So what all examples we are going to discuss in Django, all the examples will be in this particular version only. So here I'm going to use a Python latest version, Django latest version we are going to use. All will be in the same version here. While working with Django, Django is a framework used for developing websites. Okay, for developing websites, we are using Django framework. Django framework is completely developed in, Python. It is developed. So it is having Python files or modules. Django has Python files or modules, and by using them we can develop the websites. Okay, so in Django, here we are going to write lot of Python code. Python code we are going to write while developing the website, along with HTML, JavaScript, CSS, jQuery, Bootstrap, all these Python code also we are going to right here. So before discussing about the features and history of Django, here I want to explain some basics related to web technologies or UI technologies. Like many of you may be knowing this, but here I will repeat like what are client side, server side technologies. Only just to have idea, we are going to discuss this. So here when you are working with websites in internet, so with websites in internet, nearly 6 crores websites are there. So daily 1,000 sites are hosted or published in internet. So new websites. And in internet, like thousands of dedicated servers are connected to internet. Like the servers may be in any country. In every country, internet servers will be there. So in those servers, like 100 or 150 sites will be there, and they are being executed. Thousands of servers are connected to internet. And here while working with websites, here we'll say client system and we'll say server system. Okay, so in with internet we'll say no client server. With the databases also we'll say client server will say. So client system has a browser, and server system has a web server. So web server is there. So here a browser is an application used to open the websites. For opening the websites, we are using a browser here. Browser is an application, and like a notepad is an application. So paintbrush is an application. All are applications only. Browser is an application. So to open the websites, we can use a Google Chrome or Internet Explorer or Mozilla or any other browser we can use. And here you can see web server is the server system is there. Server system will have web server. So web server is a software or an application used to store and to run the websites. So in internet, we can see many websites will be there. All the websites in internet will run with web server. So server system will have web server. With the help of web server, the websites will execute. They are going to be executed. So here for Java websites, Tomcat web server is used, and for .NET websites, IIS web server is used. So IIS means Internet Information Services, and for PHP websites, Apache web server is used for PHP websites, and for Django also web server is there. That web server will call it as a development server. Django development server. Okay, development web server will say. Django development web server is there that we are going to use based on the languages you are using, based on the technologies or frameworks. Then web servers are going to be used. And here while working with websites here, like when we say about websites, while working with websites here we'll see static pages, and here we can see dynamic pages also will see here, static pages and dynamic pages. So while creating the website can have only static pages, or website can have only dynamic pages. Only dynamic pages can be there, or some websites can have both static pages and dynamic pages can be there. Okay, and here when we say about static pages, so HTML pages are called as static pages or read-only pages. Okay, so we can say HTML pages or HTML files. Page is nothing but a file. HTML page is called as a file. So when you are working with HTML pages or HTML files, so these pages are controlled or managed by the browser. So browser can manage HTML pages. Means it will allow us to work with other pages in the website. So it will allow us to move from one page to another page, like if they are static or HTML pages. And when we use HTML pages is whenever you want to display the same content to all the users accessing the website, then we can use HTML page, same content like news, advertisements, images, or some data, anything. Then HTML pages we can use. So HTML pages examples are home page or index page, like first page in the website, about us page, contact us page, then sitemap, like all these are used. So about us means that page will show information about the business or the company or organization, like when it is started, all these we can see. And next one is like contact us is there, like in every website it will be there, like if anybody is interested to contact that particular business or organization or institution, contact details will be there. And sitemap also will be there. Sitemap page means it will contains the complete information about the site, like what all pages are there, what content is available. Now it is not like Google Maps. Sitemap means information about the site. So whenever here one student is saying that like audio is unable to hear me. Others can hear my voice. Okay. So here while working with so here while working with these HTML pages, depends on the requirement, we can create all these pages. Okay, like if you want to develop a news portal, if you want to create a website for publishing news or anything, then we can use HTML pages, because like there people will read the news and they'll close the pages. So in that case, we can use HTML pages. So here HTML pages or files are client side. So HTML is a client side markup language. So HTML works in a client side. In a browser, it will works. Okay. And here while working with HTML pages, like other client side technologies or other client side frameworks are there. HTML is client side, like I will say client side technologies or front end technologies, will say. And along with HTML, we can use other client side technologies or other client side frameworks we can use. Like here we can say VB script. So VB script is there, JavaScript, and CSS, and here jQuery, and here Bootstrap, DOM, and here Angular, then React JS. So all these comes under front end or client side. Okay. So when HTML page is there, when HTML file is there, then we can use a VB script or JavaScript. So VB script works only in Internet Explorer. JavaScript works in all the popular browsers. And here we can use CSS, cascading, style sheet, jQuery. We can use Bootstrap, DOM, document object model we can use. And here in Angular, two frameworks will be there, Angular framework and Node.js. Angular framework is a front end, Node.js is a back end. Okay. And in Angular, TypeScript is used. So TypeScript means it is a superscript of JavaScript. It is like other modern programming languages like Java. It is used. It is used. And here when you work with Angular framework, it is front end. And React.js is there. It is also front end used for reusing UI components. Whenever you want to use the UI components like a UI code in different locations in the page, or else in different locations in the website, we can use React.js can be used. So here what I'm trying to say here is like HTML, VB-script, JavaScript, CSS, jQuery, Bootstrap, DOM, Angular framework, React.js, all these are front-end technologies. All these we can say front-end frameworks or front-end technologies. Works in browser, works in client side. So browser can understand like VB-script, HTML, VB-script, JavaScript, CSS, jQuery, Bootstrap, DOM, Angular framework, React.js. All these browser can understand. Okay, so all these comes under client side or front end technologies. All these we can use it. And here we can say dynamic pages also. So dynamic pages means these are controlled or managed by the web server in the server system. So web server will manage the dynamic pages. So when we should use a dynamic pages is whenever you want to display different information, then using dynamic pages it is possible. So in dynamic pages, from user to user, the information will change. So it will not be the same to all the users. So it won't be the same to all the users accessing the website. Okay. So to display different data from user to user, dynamic pages can be used. So dynamic pages examples are login page, then registration page, change password, password recovery. All these are called as dynamic pages, because when we give login details like user credentials, username and password, they'll go to server. Server will validate and will give response. When we send registration details, then server will store in table, then we'll get response. Changing password, password recovery, only server will handle all this. Okay, so for that dynamic pages we can use it. So if you are working with Gmail, while working with this Gmail here, like when you give username and password, after login is successful, so here after login is successful here, so here after login is successful here in Gmail, you can see this here, this page. So this page will call it as a single page application, SPA, single page application. Single page application means in one particular page we are going to so here in one particular page we are going to display the whole information. So instead of moving from one page to another page, or instead of jumping from one page to another page in the website, so we can do all our work in a single page application in one page. So in the left side, you can see quick launch bar. So quick launch bar means quickly we can navigate to the required information. And then you can see hamburger icon, search option, and then you can see tabs here, primary, social, promotion, like all these are there. Okay, so whenever you want to create a page like this, then we can use Angular. Using Angular, it is possible here. Okay, and here whatever mails are there in inbox, like when I connect to Gmail, Google Mail with my account, it will show only my mails. So in Gmail, we can see crores of account holders will be there. Crores of account holders will be there. Like if anybody connects with their account, it will show only their mails. So from user to user, information will change. So whatever data that we are seeing here, this is dynamic data, because here we are getting data from the because we are getting data from the server. We are getting the information here. Okay, so whenever you want to work with dynamic pages, like whatever page we saw now, it is dynamic page only. Okay, so to create a dynamic pages, we can we have to use server side technologies. We have to use. So we have to use the backend technologies or server side technologies we have to use to create what? Dynamic pages. Okay, so here you can see PHP, then ASP, then JSP, servlets, and here we'll use ASP.NET and ASP.NET MEC, and next one is Ruby on Rails. Ruby will say, then Django, Node.js. All these are there. All these are used. All these are called as back-end technologies or server-side technologies. So which are used for creating dynamic pages, or we can create dynamic sites. Dynamic sites we are going to create. Okay, so here for creating dynamic web pages or dynamic sites, many server-side technologies are there. Like PHP is very old, ASP is also old, and JSP and servlets are used in Java. JSP servlets, JDBC, ASP.NET, ASP.NET MEC is used in .NET. Ruby is there, Django is there, Node.js is there. Okay, so here many server-side technologies are there which are very popular, very popular. And in those server-side technologies, back-end technologies, website development is very difficult, very difficult. Like if you take Java or .NET or anything, so developing a website means it takes a lot of time. It will take days together to complete the project. Okay, and when you take Django, here Django is there. Django means related to Python. So this is also, Django is also a server-side technology or back-end technology. We are saying it as a framework, Django framework. So it is a server-side technology or back-end technology used for creating dynamic web pages or used for creating dynamic sites. So whenever you want to create a dynamic sites, then Django can be used. So students may be having doubt when many server-side technologies are there, when many back-end technologies are there. So why we should go only with Django? Like many features are there in Django. Like top 5 features are there. Many other important features are there. Like in Django, website development is very fast. Like with less coding, website development is fast. Like many features are automatically loaded. Django, we can say it is fully loaded with all the features. So with less coding, we can develop applications. So when I tell about the features, we'll discuss in detail. Like we can implement all the security features we are going to implement. See here, one student is asking doubt. See, JavaScript is client side. So whenever you want to give validations, or whenever you want to give validations on HTML page, like conditions on HTML page, or whenever you want to work with text effects, animations, or whenever you want to store data, JavaScript is used. Okay, it is a client side, but JavaScript is not for dynamic pages. Like along with HTML pages, we'll use JavaScript. JavaScript is used. So, but using JavaScript, other libraries are developed like jQuery, then Node.js, Knockout.js, AngularJS. All these are from JavaScript. See, validations will give using JavaScript only. In HTML page, if you want to give some conditions or validations, JavaScript is used. Okay, so here when you work with the dynamic pages here, then here we are going to use server-side technologies we are going to use here. We can use a Node.js. Node.js can be used. So in Django classes, in our classes, we are going to create static pages and dynamic pages. Both we are going to create. Okay, so here we are not only focusing on server side technology or backend technologies, server side coding. So here we are going to create static pages and dynamic pages. So here we are going to use HTML, JavaScript, CSS, jQuery, Bootstrap, DOM. All these we are going to use. All these will use. Okay, so in my classes, student will get chance to learn how to design, how to create static pages and how to create dynamic pages also. So here students will learn about front-end technologies and back-end technology also. Front-end technologies means that are listed here, HTML and other things. So here you will learn everything in detail about UI technologies or front-end technologies. And here you are going to learn server-side coding also. That is a Django. Server-side technologies means many are there, like PHP, ASP, JSP, servlets. All these are there. But to develop dynamic websites, dynamic pages, one server-side technology is enough. No need to learn many. Client-side technologies you have to learn. You have to learn HTML, JavaScript, CSS, jQuery, Bootstrap, DOM, all these. Server-side technology, one is enough. So you should know which is popular, which is having demand now, and then you should learn. If you do like that, then you can develop static pages and dynamic pages. You can develop. So you can learn. Now you are learning Django for developing dynamic web pages or dynamic sites. You can develop. And here, while working with static and dynamic pages, so students may be having doubt like what is the difference. I have told one difference before. Static pages are controlled by the browser. Dynamic pages are controlled by the web server in the server system. Okay, so here we'll see some other differences also. See, after explanation, I will give time for asking doubts. At the time, you can ask doubts. I'll definitely clarify. So here, websites in internet works with HTTP or HTTPS protocol. Okay. So HTTP means hypertext transfer protocol, or S means we can call secured. Okay. So in a network, many protocols are used. HTTP, FTP, TCP, UDP, many protocols are there. So HTTP is a very old protocol. It is 40 years old. Since 40 years, we are using HTTP protocol. So websites in internet works with HTTP or they'll works with HTTPS. So in a browser, if I give like this, so here I'm typing durgasoft.com. So this website is running with HTTP. Here you can see HTTP. So it is saying not secure. Whatever information we are giving in the websites, whatever data we are sending from client to server, server to client, it is not safe. Okay. So to secure the data, we have to write programs. We have to write programs for that, so that the security will works here. If you work with Gmail, so Gmail works with HTTPS. You can see lock symbol is there. Data is secured. And if you work with djangoproject.com, HTTPS. Python.org, HTTPS. Okay. So here, when you work with websites here, even when I develop website in Django, by default it runs with HTTP protocol. If I develop a website in Django, by default it runs with HTTP. Then we can ask internet service providers, like we can ask the company which is doing web hosting. So we can ask internet service providers to run our website with HTTPS protocol. Then they will do it. Like in which server you are going to host your website, where you are taking the domain name, from which company you are taking domain name, or like other space all you'll take. So for there, for to them you can ask, like I want my website to be executed in HTTPS. Then they'll do it. Okay. So in HTTPS, inbuilt security will be there for the data. In HTTP, we have to write programs for securing the data. Like that is additional. It is time taking in HTTP protocol. So HTTP or HTTPS will call it as stateless protocol. So stateless protocol means it cannot remember the values given in the pages in the website, and it cannot remember the pages opened in the website. Okay, it cannot remember the URLs of the pages. URL means a uniform resource locator. URL means website addresses. It cannot remember. So simply we can say that HTTP or HTTPS cannot maintain history. Okay, so in browsers we'll see history. We'll be deleting history. So maintaining history is a different mechanism. Okay, so here HTTP or HTTPS is a stateless protocol, cannot remember the values given in the pages in the website, cannot remember the pages opened in the website. Okay, but you may be having doubt, then why we are using these protocols. So HTTP or HTTPS is called as communication protocol, used to transfer the data in network from client to server, server to client. Like all these we can do it. All these we are doing it. Okay, so because of HTTP or HTTPS protocol, we have to maintain the state, we have to maintain the information. Okay, so to maintain information in HTML it is possible. In HTML, which JavaScript also it is possible. In HTML5, web storage is there. In JavaScript, cookies are there. So by using them, we can store web pages values or website information in the browser, or else in the client system, and we can use that information across pages in the website, or we can use that information across multiple requests that are sent to the server. Okay, so here when you store information in browser or else in client system, here drawbacks are there. Drawbacks is we don't have any security for the data, and limited data you can store. Execution is slow. Okay, so to overcome all these drawbacks, then to store the data, to maintain the data, we can use dynamic pages. So when we store data or when we store information or website information using dynamic pages, that information will go to server. Okay, that information is stored in server, not in browser. In server it is stored. Then if it is stored in server, we can use that information across pages in the website, across multiple requests. Across multiple requests that we send to the server, we can use. So if the data is stored in the server, then the data is safe, secured. So whenever we are working with confidential data or sensitive data, like password, account number, credit card number, then debit card number, PIN number, if the data is stored in server, then it is safe. Like then we can secure the data from middleman attacks, data tampering, and from hackers we can secure the data. Okay, and with the dynamic pages you can store large amount of data, and accessing the data is also fast. All these uses or advantages are there with dynamic pages, so the data will be safe. Okay, and with the dynamic pages, another use or advantage is with the dynamic pages we can integrate the web pages with the database. So if I want to connect web page with SQLite, or MySQL or SQL Server, Oracle, or any other database, we can integrate web pages with database. Like we'll write server-side code and we'll connect to the database, sending the data, receiving the data. Like all these, we can do it. Okay. So when you are learning this Django, when I'm giving examples, when I will give examples using Django, then my laptop will work as all-in-one. Okay. So my laptop is not only client or not only server. So it works as all-in-one here. Why? Because is in my system Python is there, Python software is there. In my system Django is there. So when we install Django, web server is also installed, web server. And in my system browser is also there. So my system will works as a 3-in-1. So 3-in-1 means it works as a client system, development system, and also a production system. It will works. So in my system, I can develop the website. I can develop the website means a development system. I can develop the websites. My system works as development system. And after that, I can run the websites. Then my system will works as a production system. Like we can say production server. Okay. And my system will works as client also, because in browser we can open the websites. Okay. So in my system, I can develop the website. Then I can run the website through web server, and the websites can be opened in the browser. So my laptop is working as a 3-in-1, all-in-one we can say. It is working as development system, production system, and client system. Like all these is done. Okay. So today I've told about a few things related to front-end technologies, back-end technologies, like what is Django. Only definition is given, but I didn't tell about what is Django, what are the features. All these we didn't discuss. Okay. So students, I'm stopping now, and tomorrow we are going to discuss about Django. What is Django? Like what are the features, history, and the features of Django we'll discuss. And also we are going to discuss about MVT architecture, like what is what are design patterns, what is MVT, what is MVC, what is model view template. Like all these we are going to discuss in tomorrow's session. We are going to discuss. So those who want to continue the classes, see in all the 45 days or 50 days, what all examples I'll give, all will be real-time examples. Okay. And the project also will be real-time only. And after completing this course, then you can directly work on live or real-time projects. So again, no need to take a real-time project training. Like some will say no, like that after course they learn project-oriented training. So my class, Django classes are like project-oriented training only. What all examples I'll give, all are real-time examples. After completing the course and the project, directly you can work on any Django project. So this is like project oriented training only. Okay. So if any doubts are there, students, you can ask me now. Any doubts you can ask, please.
Sir,
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yes.
So in this course, sir, we will learn some part of CSS or other like DOM or something else which will be
Yeah.
required.
Yeah. See, in beginning classes, we'll focus on UI, user interface. So we'll see
Okay.
many examples using HTML, JavaScript, CSS, jQuery, Bootstrap. Bootstrap examples also we'll see many, not basics. We'll
Okay.
implement in the project. And here,
So one more thing, sir. Hello.
yeah, yeah, yes, yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. After completion of this course, we will able to learn to how to deploy the website in the server or how to get access all the things
See,
because
here we'll
deployment.
yeah, yeah, see, uh, uh, deployment web hosting also we are going to discuss. I will tell very clearly how to put our website in internet server, like how to use a version control system, Git, then how to use GitHub, and how to use pythonanywhere.com, like hosting website. Other
Sir,
websites are also there.
So GitHub is a repository, sir, where we will store our made website like documents
Yes,
we need
yes,
to
yes,
store there.
yes,
Okay.
yes. Through GitHub only. See, I have handled many batches in Django. Yeah, web hosting I used to tell, and project also I'm explaining. All my examples are very, very good examples, and they are real-time examples. And
Okay, sir.
one student is asking like, will you cover REST API also? We'll see 2, 3 examples using REST API.
So what's the difference,
REST
sir? REST
API.
API and Django, sir?
See,
Because I have seen
Django
these
is
are coming
see
together.
see Django is for developing websites, and REST API is we will call it as the application program interface. So it will works as interface between the applications and the other devices. So if I want to run our websites in Android or else in iPhone, in other devices, if I want to run my website in other devices, because those devices works with different formats. Okay, so to run our website in cross browsers, in different browsers, in different devices, especially with mobiles, in Android and in iOS mobiles, if I want to run my websites, then through Django REST API it is done.
Means it's a
Okay.
client side business, sir. How the HTML and CSS
No,
work
no,
out.
it will works as the interface. It
Is a
works as
work side
interface.
interface.
Yeah.
So like, sir, in Python we have a library tkinter like that.
No, no, the Tkinter is for developing desktop applications. Here we have
Okay.
many libraries are there. Django
It's
means
totally
Python
different.
libraries only. Yeah, Tkinter will not use here. It is for desktop application. Django REST API also will discuss. We'll see 1 or 2 examples using Django REST API. That I'll do it.
It's not too complicated, no, sir. REST API.
REST API is another course. I cannot give all examples. No, 2, 3 examples means I can give.
So it is
But
mandatory to go
we'll
through the
see.
REST API and along with
See,
Django.
yeah, I will give you examples. It is for adding, editing, deleting, viewing records. So for CRUD operations, we'll use that.
Okay, sir. And what about the job opportunities, sir, after completion of Django? Because many frameworks are there, but we are going to learn like Django along with the Python like as a language. So these are the combination how it was like it will work for the job perspective as per compared to others.
See here with Python, you can get various types of jobs, because Python is not only for application development. So for other tasks also we can use Python for doing if you want to work with automation, if you want to work with big data, and if you want to work with other any task, then Python is used. Django REST API, all these are used for website development. Like with Python, you can get various types of jobs, but there you have to work with. Like this Python scripting is used for automation of administrative tasks, like for automation of some other tasks. You may get chance to work in different areas in Python.
Hello,
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
hello,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
Creating a website is easy with which server? The Django, like PHP. So which one is easier?
See, like Django is easy, but
Before one minute. Before this, we know that Python is very easier when compared to Java. It is eliminated so many things when coming to Python. Similarly, when creating website in Django, is it easier when compared to other things, other softwares, tools?
yeah, it is easy only, and those features we'll discuss in tomorrow's class. I didn't tell anything related to Django tool. Tomorrow we are going to discuss like what
That
is there in Django, how it is different from
No,
other
no,
server-side technology.
Okay, okay, sir. We are not asking what is Django. What we are asking is it very easier when compared to others like PHP, like that, creating website? Is it
See,
easier?
it is not very easy. It is easy only, not very easy. Here we'll write a lot of coding. See, those who learn Django from other faculties, like they may feel like it is very difficult to learn. But here in my classes, I will give step-by-step notes so that you can practice and you can learn easily. Without the practice, you cannot learn anything. Especially with Django, practice is mandatory. Okay,
That's fine.
yeah, let me complete. Let me complete. With the practice, you can learn Django. Compared with other server-side technologies, Django is easy. Why it is easy means tomorrow I'll tell about everything related to Django. So you have to wait for one more day. So when you attend tomorrow's class, then you'll have clarity, like how it is
Yeah,
different from other server-side
yeah,
technology.
yeah, fine, fine. And one more thing is,
Okay.
we don't have softwares like Oracle and MySQL and Django and Python. Is it how to, I mean, load all the things in our laptop or PC?
See, you know Python or not?
Python is there, but we don't have Django and MySQL
No,
databases
no, no,
like
no,
Oracle.
no, no, no. Listen to me. You know, did you finish Python course?
Yeah. Networking and all we have done. We are doing with robotics.
Okay, okay.
Python.
So you have idea about Python. So you can
Yeah,
complete. You can learn. I will tell how to install Django, how to install SQLite, how to install MySQL. I will tell. It is my responsibility to tell how to install the softwares.
okay.
Okay. Uh, And here Flask is there. There is a difference between Django and Flask. Flask only some companies will work on Flask. So if you want me to give one or two examples, we'll see one or two examples in Flask also, only to know the difference. Okay.
And one more thing is, are any companies are following Django right now?
Okay. So
Are
most of the companies will use a Django only.
like
Okay.
like companies like
See, many like, see, tomorrow I will tell. Tomorrow, give me one day time. Tomorrow I'll show you like which
okay,
company is using Python Django, what are the websites developed in Django. I will show you all. Okay, and
okay,
Java and JavaScript is different. One student is asking doubt. Java is different. JavaScript is different. Okay.
Java is a programming language. This is a scripting language. Okay, using Java, right?
Um, See, others, please mute. Yeah, please ask.
Hi, sir. Navya here. Yeah,
Yeah, please.
actually, I have a small doubt on today's class. I'm thinking like JavaScript, we can use JavaScript to develop the dynamic web pages.
No, no,
We are
no.
doing validations, right?
See, JavaScript
Validation
is,
means that,
yeah, let me tell. JavaScript is client side, works with HTML. Okay. No, Node.js is there. Node.js. Node.js is server side. Node.js means it is in Angular. Angular is having two frameworks, Angular framework, Node.js. So Node.js is the server side, which is used to create dynamic pages. Yeah, now you can ask.
okay. So JavaScript actually using JavaScript normally we used to connect to DB and get the details of email and password to
No, no,
in
no,
order to
no,
do the
no.
validation.
No, madam. It is not used to connect to database. JavaScript will works only in browser. It is client side. It will not, JavaScript will not execute in the server. Server side technologies will run in web server. Okay. Server side
Okay.
technologies are there, no? They will not, browser cannot understand server side code. Server side technologies. Browser can understand HTML, JavaScript, CSS, jQuery, Bootstrap. All these are client side technologies, front end technologies. Browser can understand. Okay. JavaScript will not use it to connect to database, to create dynamic pages, will not use JavaScript. Okay, Node.js will use. Node.js means which is in list here in server side technologies list. It is there.
Okay. Got it. Node.js. That is. Fine. Thank you.
Here, demo classes will be like 2 classes, maybe there, 2 classes, demo classes. Okay, students, I'm signing off. Any doubts to ask? Here, today network issue is there. So I'm signing off. Tomorrow we'll continue. Okay.